Hey, happy hempsters. Thank you guys for your patience. And we are back. This is Dee Dee Taylor with 502 Hemp and my trusty sidekick.
Beth Panatti.
And we're doing our favorite podcast called Hempin Happiness. So thank you for joining us and thank you for your patience too. Again, I just have a lot on my plate. So this just kind of gets thrown by the wayside sometimes. Not that I don't want to do the podcast. It's just finding the time to do the podcast.
Right.
But thanks for joining us, and we appreciate you listening. Give us a like, leave a comment. If you have questions, I try to get in there and answer everybody's questions on the YouTube channel as much as I possibly can. So bear with me. Because, I'm a pretty busy businesswoman. So I do lots of things. But today, Beth and I, we wanted to talk about a couple of, and you may have already heard, maybe you didn't know, but the Big Beautiful Bill, there is a provision in there in their agriculture side, whatever.
It's under agriculture and FDA.
Yeah. And it passed the
Appropriations Committee.
Yeah. And I think it's coming up for another vote sometime soon. I don't know when, but it's kind of crazy. Y'all, if you do not know this, what is in this Big Beautiful Bill, for so many other reasons, I don't agree with this bill at all. But this one really would completely annihilate any THC products from being sold through hemp completely. So
and all the other cannabinoids.
Yeah, and all the other cannabinoids except CBD and CBG.
You're right.
Which
2 cannabinoids. Your body can process way more than 2 cannabinoids. We need those cannabinoids, right?
So tell me why they are trying to literally roll back prohibition on a federally legal product that, mind you, Trump signed the 2018 Farm Bill.
In 2018.
So this is Trump's order that they are trying to walk back.
Mm-hmm.
It is a $30 billion industry. We're just a micro, I don't have
We're teeny tiny, right.
So, but the entire nationwide, the hemp industry was able to survive COVID because of Delta 8 THC. And all of a sudden, all of these fucking politicians and people that don't know better started calling it synthetic. Mm-hmm. They started calling it intoxicating. They started using big, scary words so people wouldn't take it or use it. But it is a naturally occurring cannabinoid in the plant.
Right.
And again, hemp and marijuana is the same plant. Even though everybody says that hemp's not, and they're waiting for the real stuff, and blah, 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 it is still the Cannabis sativa plant.
But now, the reason they are introducing that is to close the loophole created by the 2018 Farm Bill. So they're saying, right, the loophole, which is mainly the THCA flower, that they're so against that because it is marijuana.
No, it's not. It's hemp.
It's hemp. Right?
You know the crazy thing about it is, though, Beth? That's really what got them. Because people can smoke THCA flower, and they don't need the marijuana flower. Right. That's way more expensive. But you want to know what's even crazier? A lot of these marijuana companies, they are selling THCA flower.
Well, I mean, is Delta 9 not always THCA before it is converted? So marijuana is THCA. So
that loophole that most of us people have enjoyed quite well.
Yeah.
Now, granted, we haven't sold the flower just in Kentucky because it is a felony, could be a felony charge, trafficking marijuana, and I don't need that kind of bullshit in my life.
Not enough stress.
Not enough stress, and not enough money to fight something like that. But it makes sense why Big Canna's pushing back, and I truly believe that it's Big Canna that's behind this part of this bill, because they are losing money because people can get THCA flower a lot cheaper at a hemp store than they can at a dispensary, because the marijuana dispensaries, they pay a lot in fees and taxes and everything else. So, I mean, people call it weed light. I have not smoked it. I'm going to be honest with you, but I'm also a former smoker, so I try not to smoke at all because I don't want another habit.
Right.
Because I have that addictive personality.
But I've smoked it, and I can't tell the difference between marijuana and that. And I understand that. I mean, if worse comes to worse with the THCA, okay, fine, right.
But
the
don't
flower,
take all the other cannabinoids.
Right, don't take Delta 8 away saying it's synthetic. Please take away the synthetic cannabinoids. Right. I can't stand that. I hear the worst stories about synthetic cannabinoids.
Yep, and
but Delta 8 is not.
Exactly.
What why people think Delta 8 is so dangerous is they're mixing it with the synthetic cannabinoids, and that's what they're buying at the gas stations.
Yep.
Pure Delta 8 is going to be a lot milder than Delta 9. It feels natural. It doesn't feel synthetic. Yep. So,
it still can give you that THC high, but just not.
It's a little.
It's a little less. I hate to say that it's not psychoactive because it is.
Yeah, it definitely is.
But it's not as intense unless you take too much of it.
Right.
So that's always the rule
dose
with THC.
Dependent with
dose dependent. But I hate how there truly are synthetic cannabinoids that literally are made up of out of thin air that they call cannabinoids, which aren't.
And there are some that are legal in Kentucky.
Yeah, which is a shocker. Right. We're not even going to talk about those today.
No, we won't.
Right now because we don't carry them and we're not going to. But there's other shit on the market now too. What's that? That 7-0?
Right.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
That's the
kratom?
Form of kratom that is highly addictive.
Well, and I had somebody tell me they had THC or Delta 11. I'm sorry. And I'm like, Delta 11? He's like, it is so highly addictive. I had like vomiting and stuff to get off of it. I said, well, then that can't be natural.
Not natural.
That's not natural.
I have heard that Delta 11 is what your body produces.
Right. That was the metabolite, the THCM. Yeah. So that's what they're calling Delta 11.
Oh,
no. Stay away from that.
Jeez.
But
it's
see
cannabinoid du jour.
Right. No, let's stick with what's natural with the plant. Delta 8 is natural.
It is natural. And I don't like it when they use intoxicating.
I know.
They don't talk about alcohol being intoxicating.
Right. Intoxicating alcohol.
Yeah.
Right.
And everybody, let's go get a drink. Let's go drinks.
Right.
Gifts. All these auctions for silent auction
bourbon bottles. Yes.
It just is insane. Yeah. So John, my husband, he has been sober free for a year now. He's not had a drink, not one drop of alcohol. I'm so proud of him. And over the weekend, we completely cleaned out our cabinets. We had so much bourbon, rum, all kinds of shit that we don't drink. And even a couple bottles of open wine that I don't know how they just
showed up at your house.
They'd been open. So I might have tasted them and didn't like them. And then I'm like, I'll drink those later or pour them out later. And I never did. Cork was still in them, but can you imagine how gross those were? So we poured those out. But I ended up donating like all this bourbon that we had to a charity that's having a gala. So they can auction this stuff off. And I'm like, when can we get to where we're auctioning off cannabis all the time instead of alcohol? I cannot wait for that day. Right. It's coming. I think with the tides are turning when it comes to alcohol and the younger generation because they do not like the hangovers. We're Gen X, so we can go party our asses off one night and get up and go right to work and still have the tramp stamp on our hand. Wait, those are on our backs. Anyway,
the bar stamp.
The bar stamp. Yeah, the bar stamp on our hands and still get up and go to work the next day or go to classes. I was in college when my drinking happened the most. So you'd get up and go to school and you know what I mean? You just dealt with the hangover, but
yeah,
I don't think
these days
can do that now. They're not we're built like different. Us. They are not built like us. So I think they have chosen and they like the cannabis beverages. And that has really been a big movement throughout the United States to limit those drinks because they're taking money away
from the alcohol companies.
Industry.
So yeah, it always was big pharma that we felt like we were up against. Now it's big alcohol, big
canna. Those are the three bigs that our little hemp stuff that is amazing and for so many different reasons that we're constantly fighting against. But the good news about that, I know most of you probably heard about Texas and how it passed their legislation. There was going to be a complete ban of all products. And luckily their governor did the right thing. So thank you, Governor Abbott. Thank you, Abbott. He vetoed that bill. Yeah. So they are going to be holding a special session, I think, next month to have some rules and regulations.
Regulations, maybe they could take a page from Kentucky's setup, right?
Because we got our regulations in place before just about any other state had any.
I know. Thank you, Governor Beshear.
Right?
Yes, yes.
Well, and I worked really hard to get those regulations in place. And when I say I do mean the Kentucky Hemp Association because I'm now the president. So it wasn't just me. It was the entire association. So.
But you're a good leader.
Thank you. I do try. But to me, that was just important to have those regulations in place. Friends do not let friends buy gas station gummies.
Right.
Okay. Coming soon, a sticker near you for that one. But anyway, so hopefully Texas can take a page from Kentucky and write regulations that are beneficial for their consumer.
Right. And the veterans really stood up because they said, we're going to have to go back to opioids. You get rid of our hemp products because not everybody is going to qualify for a medical card.
Exactly.
And if they do, they have to give up their guns.
Right. And exactly. And I had actually had lunch with a retired police officer last week. And he and I talked about that. He said, a lot of these retired police officers, they need this for their PTSD, for their pain, like for whatever is going on with them. But all of them do not want to do it because they do not want to give up their guns.
I know. And we have a lot of customers that say that too. They want to continue to buy our hemp products because they are not tracked.
Exactly. And our products are not federally illegal.
Right. Where
exactly. Marijuana still is.
So it's not considered somebody using drugs and owning a gun.
But and it's kind of ridiculous too, that we even that we even have this problem, period. I got a little scratchy in my throat.
Both need water.
But it just amazes me how the industry, like hemp you can, marijuana you can't, even though it's the same plant.
Same plant. I know, exactly. And they also try to ban it in Ohio as well. There was a hemp ban that was shot down in Ohio. Now in California, bless you.
Oh yeah, California, you're stupid.
And has that passed all the way?
Well, I think they're getting ready. It was just a temporary ban, and I think they're getting ready to make it permanent.
They need to stop this.
They do. And the direct to consumer, like how can they police that? And why would they stop hemp products out of California when that is the biggest state?
Had marijuana legal forever, so, and to act like it's dangerous,
So I'm just gonna, that's a
very liberal state,
right? Very liberal state, very liberal Governor Newsom. It shocks the living shit out of me.
I know.
Because,
corporations have to be behind it.
They are. They are. And big marijuana is too. But it just amazes me that the Republican governor, Texas, he vetoed it.
I know.
And you would not have thought that that's how it would have been.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not party affiliated.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because our governor right now is a Democrat, but I think, was Beshear governor in 2018?
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah, through COVID, right?
Oh, yeah, through COVID, but 18? No, that was Bevin, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we still have Bevin.
I think it was Bevin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a Republican. That was a Republican. So
right.
That was a Republican. God, see,
but anyway.
We try to forget about him, but anyway.
Yeah, no, you brought it up.
So that's one super important thing that we wanted to bring up. You know, you can still own guns if you use hemp products because they're federally legal. However, if you use marijuana products and you go to buy a gun, and this is that whole Hunter Biden thing, what it was about? He lied about the gun purchases because he used, I don't know if it was marijuana, but he lied about his drug use. So that was like, oh.
I know.
I wonder, truly though, how many people have lied about that.
Oh yeah, I've had people that have told me they've lied about it just recently because So well, you can have a gun and use cannabis.
I know.
My gosh,
this is probably the
doesn't
most
even
chill
make
thing.
sense.
It doesn't. And
do you get your gun taken away when you use alcohol?
No. Should they?
Yes.
Because
way more shootings with alcohol.
People that are so intoxicated, they do not think clearly. Not at all. No. And even the police officer that I was that I was talking to, I mean, he was telling me about that. He goes, I would take somebody using cannabis any day over somebody drinking. I'm like, that's what that is the consensus of all the police officers that I know. Yeah. So I just find it, and I'm guess who's getting ready. Did I tell you this? I'll share this with our audience. I'm going to be a speaker at the Oldham County GOP.
Oh, so, interesting.
Yes, that will be interesting. I'll be talking about guns and hemp and all that stuff and how our products are helpful and hopefully maybe change some minds.
Right.
Because it is about our farmers throughout the United States. They're the ones growing the hemp.
Right.
It's not.
They've invested all of these years and all of this work to grow hemp because it's got to be very specific under that Delta 9 limit.
Under that Delta 9 limit. So they know how to grow it correctly. They know what they're doing.
What the hell are they going to grow if they don't grow hemp?
Because there's no people to come
pick anything.
Yeah.
So, no.
I don't know.
It's sad.
Everything right now to me is just kind of insane because with all the turmoil that's going on in the world, we need cannabis.
I know.
We need cannabis. We need CBD. We need our hemp. We need our products. I have cried too much watching the news and just, it upsets me so much that I cannot do it. I'll read things and I get so upset, and I have such a huge heart, and my empathy and sympathy for what people are going through is just, it is exhausting. And I cannot even imagine what some of these people are going through. So I say cannabis for all. Everybody all needs to calm their ass down and use cannabis products. I think the world would be a better place in general.
Right.
So
exactly.
We just got to stop this the big beautiful bill from passing with the provisions that they have in there.
Exactly. It was Representative Andy Harris that entered that in, and it's the same thing as that Mary Miller amendment that was tried to be introduced in the Farm Bill. But this is a budget. The budget will pass. So it's a matter of getting this taken out of that.
And it should be in there fucking anyway.
They just snuck it in there.
Well,
they sneak these things in.
That's what they do, and it's bullshit.
And you can decimate an entire industry by just adding some wording into a bill. You can't do that.
And how much would it hurt our farmers? And not just us and my business and what we do and how we help people, but the entire, across the entire United States. Giveth and taketh away.
Exactly.
Come on. I'm not a stoner. I'm not a drug user. These products help me. They help my husband. Thousands and thousands of people.
How many people have we gotten off of alcohol and opioids?
That's probably why they want to take it away.
I know. That's the thing.
Pharma's losing money
but people need to stand up for their health. They talk about this. The agriculture thing was about bringing in healthy food, and I don't know all this that they're saying that it's for, but it affects our health. So
it does.
We can't allow the government to control every aspect of our health, including our cannabinoids. We need to save our cannabinoids.
Yeah. Y'all, definitely reach out to your senators and to your United States representatives, your congressmen, your reps. Tell them to stop this madness. Like, I know that McConnell is absolutely for closing the loophole.
Yeah.
He has been since day one. Rand Paul, he is all about hemp, and the Kentucky Hemp Association actually released a press release last week. I don't know if it was picked up by anyone or if anybody even gives a shit about Little Kentucky. But Rand Paul was quoted in there along with Commissioner Shell, which is our ag commissioner, and they both agreed that, this bill can't happen. It would hurt the farmers. Because that's what we need to focus on. It's not necessarily we need to focus on the cannabinoids and how it would hurt them, but how it will hurt the farmers who are already hurting.
Right.
They're already hurting.
Right.
And they're losing money. They can't get their crops picked. I mean, they're already hurting. So what the fuck? This bill just needs to go away. So that's our 2 cents on that. But
need to be aware.
Thank you for all you Texans out there that stood up against that, and thank you, Governor Abbott, for vetoing that ridiculously shitty ass bill that your lieutenant governor was pushing through. So I hope the 2 of you get on the same page and know that hemp is good for everyone, period. All right, that's all I have on that.
That's all I have too.
Thanks, guys, for listening. We appreciate you. Hempin Happiness, and you can find our stores, 502 Hemp at 201 Mosier Road and 812 Hemp at 319
East Lewis and Clark Parkway in Clarksville.
And just FYI, we are getting ready to open up a satellite store at Logan Street Market, and we are so excited to be in that community center and being a part of that. So really excited about that. Hopefully that'll be opening up in mid-July. So a little easier for people to come in and see us and get products that they need and all that good stuff. So we're looking forward to it. But hang in for more news on that one. But thanks for listening to us. We really appreciate all your comments, and keep them coming.